Let's go do it, man. This is going to be a really, really exciting game. We have ThorZaIN, one of the most popular European Terrans of all time, making his name known in the TSL from Team Liquid. And here we have ThorZaIN, the red Terran at the top left-hand corner of Shakuras Plateau, and down in the bottom right-hand corner, we have somebody who's gone 2-0 for coLMVP now.
Yeah.
That's Tails, man, and he has done it with, you know, he's played some macro games to get here.
And the cool part about this is that coLMVP has a lot of great players in the bag. Don't forget, in this tournament, they've played SC, Noble S, Dongregu, Keen, and Genius on top of this. So, this is just Tails that's going right now. ThorZaIN has his work cut out for him at the moment because he's got to start rallying against some, what are probably going to be some very, very good coLMVP players here in a bit.
Well, if anyone can do it, I really think ThorZaIN can.
Yes.
This is probably Mouse is one of the best players, and I think ThorZaIN is the most solid player on the lineup right now. So we'll have to see if ThorZaIN can bring it back here. He's going to have to take a game off Tails to get momentum back for Mousesports, or Mousesports. Mousesports, as they have now informed us. Thank you very much.
No problem.
And so, I don't know, man. We'll see what happens. Can ThorZaIN do it?
All right, well, we're going to see what his build is here, as ThorZaIN's build recently has been, now, sometimes he'll do the 1 Rax gasless FE into 4 Rax, but more than likely, recently, it's been 1 Rax gasless FE into 2 Rax, build 1 gas, then build a second gas, not at the same time like you see whenever people do gasless FE into 3 Rax, but build them separately, and then you have flexibility to move into high upgrade builds, ghost builds, or medevac builds. It's a very, very flexible build. I would assume that that's what he's going to go with. Could certainly throw me for a loop, but I've watched a lot of ThorZaIN games recently, and that's what he seems to be sticking with.
ThorZaIN has a very flexible way of playing Terran, especially Terran versus Protoss, as you mentioned before. He really knows how to go around and be flexible with his barracks. He gets only 2 sometimes and kind of spreads out his tech tree. But what really catches my eye is his ability to control ghosts. He is so good with ghosts, and he applies ghosts liberally. He will get quite a few ghosts, excessive amounts of ghosts, and he makes them work. I mean, they're essentially Marines that have triple the HP, do triple the damage, and they can cloak, and they can nuke, and they can EMP. I mean, come on, can I have some more of that, please?
Snipes are really, really good, and people are really starting to take advantage of it recently. Obviously, Zergs know the plight of the Broodlord when it comes up against heavy ghosts. Whenever you have the Broodlord Infestor combo, ghosts are just basically the direct counter. And against Protoss players, they're obviously way, way effective as well, not just with the use of snipe against light units, especially in zealot heavy compositions, but just that EMP and the way it can just devastate lines of shields. It's a little bit disgusting, actually.
Well, it looks like ThorZaIN here is going to go ahead and secure that natural. No surprise there. ThorZaIN is one of those players that really wants to play the 2 to 3 base game. He likes to macro up. He wants to get his infrastructure set up before he goes and starts to do that attack. Once he has his infrastructure set up, you will see him be extremely aggressive. So that's what ThorZaIN is kind of playing for right now. He did throw the command center on the low ground, which is a slight risk, but he can probably do this.
He does this every time, though. He loves this build. And he does have the control to be able to pull it off, and it looks like he is going to go after the 1 Rax into 4 Rax variant. This allows you to make a very, very powerful 16 to 20 Marine attack into your opponent's base to at least scare some units out of them, possibly even deny a base. But look at this.
Stargate.
Now, if you guys remember, yesterday, when you guys were casting, we saw Alicia go Stargate against Keen, and that did, even though Alicia did pretty darn good damage with the Stargate, wasn't enough to hold back the tide of units that came out of Keen.
Yeah, the thing about Phoenix is they're such an investment. You really have to kill a lot of Harvesters, and you have to keep the Terran player on the back foot the entire game, because in the straight-up mainline engagement, Phoenixes, they can Graviton be Marauders out of the game, but I feel like if you invest more into a standard ground army, it's much more scarier for a Terran player to deal with. So Phoenixes, it's kind of a gamble. You can make it work if your micro's on point. We'll have to see if Tails is going to be able to do it or not. ThorZaIN is a very, very solid player, though, so he's going to have his work cut out for him if he wants to go for this Phoenix trap. But he's actually going for Void Ray.
Yeah, this is... He's very, very strong off of 1 base. This is getting close to all-in status now, as he's on 3-gate Stargate on 1 base. That is a huge investment, sub 7 minutes in the game. It's going to delay his expansion for a huge amount of time.
And you know what? I think ThorZaIN went for the right build to counter this. He added on 3 racks. He went for the traditional beta, 1 racks into 3 racks or 4 racks total build. So he's going to have a lot of Marines pumping out right here. And the bunker with the auto repair already set up with the SCVs. I think he's going to have enough forces to hold this off.
Yeah, definitely. Here comes the Void Ray up now in just a second, but SCVs are preemptively pulled off the line. ThorZaIN can waste a few SCVs and still have a big economic advantage to it because of when his command center did actually come up at the beginning of the game. And here it goes as Tails.
Pretty much all in from
Let's
Tails.
see here. There's a second Void Ray coming up. He's not producing anything else out of the Stargate. Looks like he's going to wait for one more Warpin round and then attack with the 2 Void Rays.
This is what the... Huh?
Okay, all right. Cybernetic score coming up. So we'll see if
I have
Tails...
no- Oh, he's using it to charge
smart! He's using that to preemptively charge up right now.
Interesting. All right, so he's probably going to cancel the building once he's charged. Yes, he will cancel.
Look
And
at
now he's
that.
going in with the 2 charge Void Rays. Force field's going down as well on the bunker. The bunker cannot get a repair off, and the bunker goes down. The SCV scrambling to repair the secondary bunker, but the Marines are all underneath, and they are going to be able to push away this force of Void Rays, it looks like. No, ThorZaIN has to fall back. ThorZaIN's got to get more Marines out right now. He's got to get repair on that bunker. I think he has held for the time being.
Yes, he has. He's held in a big way right now. He's still got a ton of his units left over. He's got a significant advantage in workers. Units are going to run around the side, but ThorZaIN has these mobile Marines up, and if he overextends these Void Rays, then his bunker is going to be plenty enough to hold.
Yeah, ThorZaIN here is going to have to get just a couple more Marines out, more SCVs on repair. He's got quite a fleet of Marines already.
Yes, he does.
I really think Tails is going to be very hard pressed right now to break this front door. He's going to have to warp in more Zealots. He's going to have to maybe do that little cute micro again with the Cybernetics core charging up the Void Rays, but it's such an investment at this point. Tails is falling behind.
He has any probes up at the front either, so he's got another Void Ray coming for the 3rd. But don't forget, this whole time, ThorZaIN has been producing off of 4 racks, and he's still been able to tech while holding off this one base all in. So
yeah, exactly. I mean, the damage has not been done from Tails at the end of the day. If you're going to go for the all-in against an expanding player, you got to kill off that natural, and he hasn't been able to do so. ThorZaIN is now adding on a secondary bunker, making things even more unlikely. It looks like Tails is going to go ahead and charge up on the pylon, and he has a charge now. He's going in to complete the charge on the Zealot, and he moves in, charges up on the bunker. The bunker is going down, but is it enough to deal with this huge army of Marines? I don't think so.
No, ThorZaIN has a lot of stuff right now. The Zealot cover has gone down. Guardian Shield is now expended, and that's actually pretty important because ThorZaIN is going to do a lot more damage with these Marines now. Now the Void Rays are making their way up to the top here to start going against these barracks, but ThorZaIN, he's got a lot of stuff here still. The Void Rays are starting to go down. One has fallen. A second goes down as well. A 3rd may fall here in just a second. There it goes. Just a couple of Stalkers remaining now.
Yeah, that's it. I think that ThorZaIN is going to win this game out right now. His Marine control is just too good, and he's got too many Marines for Tails to deal with. Tails coming in with one last blow here, but no more air fleet, no more Guardian Shield, just Stalkers. It isn't going to happen.
There we go. And chat going nuts over the charging up of the Void Race right now, and unfortunately that's not able to give Tails the advantage. There is already a starport coming up for ThorZaIN now, so he's going to have medevacs out pretty soon. Once he gets those medevacs, his voice is going to be almost unstoppable.
Well, we do have Tails. He's not going to give up the game. He's actually going to expand out of this and try to get back in it. But, man, he is so far behind right now. He's at 30 under 66 supply. Let's look at the probe count. 26 under 42.
And mules.
Yeah, and mules. So it's more like 26 under 48 or 50 maybe. This is just a terrible spot for Tails.
All right, so let's see here, Tails. Yes, go 2 Stalkers! That's actually all he's got out on the front of the field. In fact, he's only got 2 Stalkers and 2 Sentries on the field at all. That's actually it. A double drop now from ThorZaIN would actually kill Tails at the moment. Really, ThorZaIN's up by 40 supply. He's double his opponent at the moment. He can just sit back, macro for a couple of minutes, and then just go kill his opponent.
I wonder where Tails decided that he wanted to take this opportunity against ThorZaIN on Shakuras Plateau to go ahead and go for that all-in. Interesting.
Well, I don't really know. That is kind of an interesting decision.
I think he could have played a macro game against ThorZaIN and won outright, too.
People don't like playing macro games against ThorZaIN for obvious reasons.
Very true. And Shakuras Plateau...
But I understand. I agree with you, yeah.
But he did it, and it didn't work out to the way he wanted it to, and now he's kind of on the back foot. But hey, maybe he can come back. He has a Colossus support, a robotic support bay on the way right now. He can get some Colossus out on the field. If he can get Colossus out, get his probes back up to snuff, he might have a hope. Yeah. Maybe.
Well,
it's going to be tough.
It is going to be awfully close. Stimming up one more time. ThorZaIN really wants to kill these Stalkers. The super injured Marine heading over to the top right. No, you will not rest your broken leg. Go scout. And They do have a couple of photon cannons up here. And when you see photon cannons at this stage in the game, that is a desperation move for our Protoss player. And Tails is not looking to be in a good spot.
Yeah, that's a huge Marine Marauder ball under the medevacs as well. He picks off the Observer, was it?
Yeah, that was just like, it wasn't, normally you see, you know, Marine sharking around, waits for a little while, then the scan goes up, ThorZaIN was just like, whatever. And and it all dies.
Oh, here we go. He's going to just full out stim here. Doesn't really matter. He will pick off that pylon. The 2 photon cannons go underpowered. A force field comes down, but now the natural is totally exposed to this Marine Marauder medevac ball, and it looks like ThorZaIN is going to force the GG.
There it is. Wow. GG is called. ThorZaIN takes a game back for Mousesports, and they are sending it into game number 4 now with coL.MvP up 2-1.
Well done.
수상전